Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Scott.
Hey, yo. Is that his younger brother? It's gonna be
Jeff.
The cream will rise to the top. Oh, yeah.
And you're listening to
all of the great action figures from our good friends at Hasbro.
the FullyPoseable
have your own WrestleMania with all your favorite figures.
Wrestling Figure
Each sold separately from LJN.
Podcast.
And we are the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling.
Hey, welcome to episode 203 of the FullyPoseable Wrestling Figure Podcast, the longest running episodic wrestling figure podcast going today. My name is Jeff. Sitting alongside next to me is my real life brother, not storyline brother, Scott. Scott, say hello.
Hello.
Scott, what is going on over there, man?
Well, recovering from being sick, so I apologize if I sound a little bit off to anybody. It's just, man, between, I guess, the rush of the holidays and the bad weather we've been having, just the whole family really just came down with some gunk. And so I'm just kind of getting over that hill, but I've got some Dayquil running through the veins. I've got coffee and Banksterberry Bang running through the veins, so I think I should have no problem making it through the show, Jeff.
Good. I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I'm tired of you being sick.
Yeah, believe me, I am too. But if I fall asleep at the wheel, feel free to shout into my headset. Give me a little nudge, wake me up before you go.
Dude, you know what? I could actually make a whole show of all the throat clears I've taken out over the past close up to 4 years.
It'll be like at Christmas time when you put the fireplace on your TV and it's just a running loop of a fireplace. We should just do like a running loop of throat clears. And belches and all the other bodily sounds that we make that get edited out of the show that people might actually want to hear.
Speaking of editing, I did quite a bit of that on the Friendsgiving episode. I want to thank everybody for going back and listening to that. A lot of people actually enjoyed that show.
Well, you know, we were kind of discussing that before we started recording to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit. We were having a conversation about Friendsgiving, and it seems like when we change gears to throw a change up, if you will, which by the way is our new segment that we'll be sprinkling into future episodes. But it seems like when you throw that change up or you change gears a little bit, people, they kind of take to it, right? It's like a change of a flavor. Like instead of eating the same piece of candy or the same food all the time, you change it up with something different. So we kind of throw something different at you. You know, that episode we talked about starting lineup figures, Hot Wheels, aircraft carriers. It wasn't just wrestling. So kind of changed it up a little bit. It was a nice change of pace. I think I enjoyed doing it. Maybe it wasn't for everybody. I know our audio levels definitely weren't what we want them to be on every show, but just something a little bit different. So if you did download it, thank you for that. And if you enjoyed it, I'm glad that you did.
Like you said, it's not something we'll do all the time, but I mean, maybe once in every blue moon, we'll have somebody on, a friend or something like that, have them sit in and kind of tell toy spotting stories like that episode was. So thank you to everyone for going back and listening to it. If you want to pick up any of our t-shirts, go to Pro Wrestling Tees or whatamaneuver.net. You can go over to whatamaneuver.net and do the drop down and find FullyPoseable. And there you can find us. You can find Eric and Barry doing the favorite t-shirts. You can find our t-shirts. You can find a bunch of them. Steve from the PPW podcast. You can find a bunch of them all over there. You can follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, and the Book of Faces at FullyPoseable. Instagram, FullyPoseable WF. You can go back and listen to any of our past podcasts, any of them at all on FullyPosablePodcast.com. Download that Podbean app if you are on the go. Stitcher, iTunes, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. Please rate and review. Like this week, Scott, it comes in from DJUEP. This was one of those UK ones that came over about a year ago, Scott. The title of this one is Nerds. That was actually a good candy.
Dude, what are you talking about? Have you ever had a Nerds rope?
Dude, I haven't had Nerds in ages. Not since I was a kid.
Oh my goodness. Yes, Nerds are still around, which we are nerds, but we enjoy the Nerds. Well, I should say I enjoy the Nerds candy still today. They make the little tiny boxes. I don't think that they make those half and half boxes like they used to, where you can get like grape on one side and strawberry on the other.
Right.
But there's this magical concoction that's been made, and it's called a Nerds rope. If you're not familiar with it, it's basically a gummy, basically like a rope, just a long piece of candy, like a gummy candy, and it has Nerds wrapped all the way around it. Dude, awesome. Highly recommended. If you've never had a Nerds rope, check one out. Next time you go to 7-Eleven or any kind of candy store like that, a convenience store, liquor store, they've all got them. You got to try one, dude.
I'm not to try a Nerd's Rope. I can guarantee that.
You should absolutely try a Nerd's Rope.
I'm good.
No, you're not. You've never had a Nerd's Rope. Shame on you.
It says, it gave a sweet 5 stars, the geekiest, most nerdy podcast going, and still I come back for more week after week. Keep it up, boys. You're the soundtrack to my Sunday. P.S. Your idea of collecting the Elite Faces of Foley is amazing. I'm on it. Can't wait for Elite 63 Dude Love. That's how outdated this is because we didn't even know about these.
Yeah, that really sucks, but I'm glad that we know about it now, and thank you for the review.
Yeah, so thank you for sending that in. You can send any audio questions, or anything else at all to fullyposeabledwfp@gmail.com. Scott, before we get into your big news, I want to thank everyone for donating to Rant-A-Claus. They actually went over what they were expecting. Last year, they did $800. This past year, they did $1,300. So I want to congratulate Rant with Ant. If you guys donated by hearing it on this show, thank you. Ant thanks you. That money went to good use. They went into Target and bought a bunch of toys for kids, and then they did their donation. There, you can see the vlog that they did on Rant with Ant's YouTube, or you can just go follow Rant with Ant on Twitter. We retweet them all the time, so you can find them on there. So thank you again, everybody.
Yeah, Rant's a hell of a guy, and he goes out of his way to make sure that a lot of kids have an outstanding Christmas, and he did it again this year. Like you said, Jeff, he eclipsed what he thought he was going to get, definitely eclipsed last year's number. So if any of our listeners donated to that, thank you guys very, very much for doing so. I'm hoping that we had a hand in getting more money to making sure that those kids had an amazing Christmas. So if you donated, thank you very much. And Ant, you're a hell of a dude. Continue the great work, man.
Scott, what is this news you have?
I have news, Jeff. Do you have news? Do you have news music for me?
Wait, is this breaking news?
Yes, it's in fact breaking news.
I'm
not cutting you off. Keep going. This is fantastic.
I gotta fill in with throat clears on that one.
I love it.
What is your big news, dude?
So for months, literally months, it seems like every episode, you on this show or one of our listeners on social media is hitting me up. Scott, are you going to WrestleMania? Scott, what's the status? Are you going to WrestleMania? What's going on? Are you going to be there? Can you go? Can't you go? What's going on? I have a firm answer. And
okay,
I am happy to announce that I'm going to let you know at the end of the show if I can go or not. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that to you guys. I will be at WrestleMania this year or next year. I will be at WrestleMania 2020.
You're heading to Tampa?
I am heading to Tampa. I'm probably not going to WrestleMania 36, but I will be going to NXT. I'll be going to WrestleCon. And by God, I'm going to be at the meetup.
Holy shit, that means Fig Life Meetup 3 is on. Nice, dude. So guess what this means? Time to start planning where we got to have the Fig Life Meetup 3.
Oh, I thought you meant that they better start stocking up on Jägermeister.
Are you going to be drinking with the listeners at that Fig Life Meetup?
Dude, does the Pope shit in the woods? Of course I'm going to be drinking with the listeners.
You know everybody's going to be wanting Squat to come out.
Well, okay, so the bad part about me going is that Shanna can't go. Because unfortunately that weekend, Peyton has, which I feel horrible I'm missing it, Peyton has a dance competition in Sacramento. And it just so happens she has 4 or maybe 5 dance competitions next year. If you count nationals, I think it's 5 next year. And out of those 5, of course they scheduled one of them on WrestleMania weekend. Completely inconsiderate. I don't know why they didn't consult me before doing this, or Vince McMahon for that matter, before they scheduled their dance competition. Anyway, I'm going to be missing the dance competition, but that means that Shannon has to take Peyton to the dance competition. So, unfortunately, the Fig Life wife will not be in Tampa with me. So, I need to be on a little bit better behavior than I was in New Orleans. But with that said, marginal squat will come out to play. Marginal, not full-blown, like, harassing Xavier Woods on Bourbon Street squat, but, like, maybe taking a half drank fifth of vodka from some poor soul that was completely hammered on the side of the street on Bourbon Street, and walking off and trying to hand it to Xavier Woods. Maybe that squat will make an appearance.
So Fig Life Meetup 3 is on, dude. It is a go.
Yes, so I'm going to start scouting locations in Tampa, right next to or near the WrestleCon hotel, so it'll be easy for everybody to get to. It'll be close to everything. And hopefully sometime in January we'll have, maybe before that, I don't know, promises, but definitely before the end of January we'll have a location picked out. I'll make the reservations, we'll get everything locked in, you guys will be the first to know.
We're going to have giveaways, we're going to have, for anybody that shows up, we'll have something for you.
Oh, for sure. Guaranteed, if there's a House of Blues close, it'll be at the House of Blues. We had such a good time at the House of Blues in New Orleans. So if there's one of those or a Hard Rock Cafe, something along those kind of lines where it's like a restaurant/bar. But I can't tell you guys how excited I am, not only to be going and going with you, Jeff, but to be able to meet you guys that I haven't met before, or if I have met you before, to see you again. I mean, Hova, Nicholas Jacoby, I know Travis Fowler's going to be there, Soda Hunter, Breaker, like all these guys, Breaker especially, man. I've never met him, and we've talked to him since the inception of this show. So I'm like super excited to finally meet Breaker, as I know you are, Jeff. So this is just going to be so exciting. And the Fig Life wife, again, she can't go, and she is super disappointed that she can't meet you guys as well, because she sees all the social media interactions and how close we've become with everybody. And she's like, man, I don't get to meet people. So I feel horrible for her. So we're going to have to get her on FaceTime. But I can't tell you how excited I am to be a part of it and to be able to celebrate WrestleMania weekend as a whole and the Fig Life community with you guys.
So Fig Life Meetup 3, what was WrestleMania 3's tagline?
Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. That was Hogan Andre. Gosh, what was that? I forget. Did it have one?
They all had one.
Like the WrestleMania you thought you'd never see or something like that? Because it was Hogan Andre?
Larger than life.
Larger than life. I have a feeling we're going to have to get Jason Wolf involved in this one.
But as I said, there will be giveaways. We're going to be having a lot of fun. And a lot of people actually vouch for how much fun they have at these, because it's everybody getting together. And granted, you might have seen everyone earlier in the day at WrestleCon or earlier in the week or whatnot. But when everybody gets together and starts talking figs and having drinks and eating food and just talking and having a blast, everybody loves the Fig Life meetups. It's fun for Scott and I. It's going to be fun for you guys.
Yeah, I'm super excited to celebrate it with everybody, just to have the whole community come together again. And we'll try to find a time-friendly spot for that, because we know that there's a lot of other stuff going on WrestleMania weekend. It seems like every hour is filled with something. So we'll try to carve out 2 or 3 hours where there's not a lot of other stuff going on that makes it more convenient for you guys. Right now, off the top of my head, Jeff, and we're just spitballing here, I'm thinking Friday, because NXT has now been moved to Saturday, so we'd really only be interfering with the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
And I don't know what names are going in yet, but like, I mean, I don't know what would force people to go. Like, if there's a name that would drop that people are like, oh my gosh, I have to go to that. But we'll try to make it friendly so that if you guys are going to the Hall of Fame, we'll have the end be like a half an hour to an hour before. And we'll try to make it kind of centrally located to everything. I know near the WrestleCon hotel would probably work best, but we'll get all the information to you guys. There's a lot of time left. We'll pinpoint something, a date, a time, a location. And again, you guys will be first, well, I guess technically second to know when that's going down.
By the way, Scott, there was an edit. Just checked Wikipedia. The tagline for WrestleMania 3 was bigger, better, badder.
Oh, so they're describing you, Jeff.
That's what the ladies say.
Okay, moving on.
Well, I'm happier to be going, dude. And Squat does need to come out because, you know, Celeste and I will take care of you.
Wait, please do. And don't record anything. It's so embarrassing afterwards. Poor Xavier Woods.
No, we're recording it all. And especially if we run into Xavier Woods.
Or Kota Ibushi.
Oh, God. To have that on film would have been the greatest thing ever.
Well, technically, we have a picture of it. And I'm looking at myself going, I am so hammered in that picture. Just, oh my gosh. That was like full squat mode. Poor Kota Ibushi.
Well, I'm happy you're going, dude. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, because you were missed last year. Everybody was like, oh, I wish Scott was here. I wish just be able to sit down, have drinks with him, just stuff like that. A lot of people did miss you last year.
Well, believe me, it wasn't for a lack of want. It was for a lack of funds. That's the only reason I didn't make it last year. And I understand people's frustrations because, look, at the end of the day, we're a tag team here, right? It's like when you get the LJN figures, we've always complained that we never got Smash, but we got Axe. Well, at Fig Life Meetup 2, they got Jeff, but not Scott. So I understand the frustration.
Absolutely. So that's Scott's big news. We also have big news regarding a giveaway. Scott, we ran a giveaway this past week, and we are going to announce the winner later in the show. Scott.
You're a jerk.
Our good buddy Ethan is selling his WWE Custom New Day Tag title. As of right now, it sounds like Ethan is selling it for $600, but I guess he would be open to offers. If you are interested in this Custom New Day Tag title, I forget which WrestleMania they gave that out at. I think that was 33 in Orlando, if I'm not mistaken. Or I should say gave it away. People had to buy it at the Superstore, but I believe it was 33 in Orlando where they gave that away. But if you are interested, hit up Ethan on Twitter at Viva La Ethan. VIVALA Ethan. And tell him you are interested in it and you may want to give it away as a Christmas present to someone special in your life. So if you're interested, hit up Ethan. The belt is also signed too. That's the other kicker.
Nice. Yeah, that'd make one hell of a Christmas gift for the New Day fan in your life. So if you're interested, hit up Ethan. We can personally vouch for him. He's a hell of a guy. We love him. Great dude. So if you're interested, hit him up at Viva La Ethan on Twitter.
Also going around on Toy Spotting, people are finding the Gorilla Monsoon and Don Morocco. So keep your eyes out at Walmart because those figures are hitting. So make sure you hit up your Walmarts this weekend. Scott, I did do Toy Spotting. Unfortunately, I was not able to find Don Morocco or Gorilla Monsoon, which I am on the hunt for, or Cassius Ono. Pop Finder's turning heel on us over here, dude.
Really?
Yeah, Pop Finder's numbers aren't equaling out to what is showing. So, like, for example, in San Bruno, it shows that there are 52 figures. And I saw bare pegs. I had a local listener just send over some pictures. There's like those 12-inch figures. It's like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins. And nothing. No basics, no nothing. So
yeah, Pop Finder's broken, dude.
There was something that was really cool. Deontay. Awesome dude, right?
Oh, I love Deontay. Yeah.
Fellow metalhead. Deontay is awesome, dude. He hit me up and he said, out of curiosity, which Roddy Piper were you looking for? It's a figure you gave away, you gave to your brother. I was like, oh, it's a Walmart t-shirt series. He goes, I'm sending it to you. What's your address?
What?
I was like, dude, are you serious? He's like, yeah. So I made sure I covered shipping. I was like, dude, I'll pay you shipping because you don't know how much this means to me. I've been wanting that figure since I gave that figure to you.
Yeah.
4 years? Yeah, about 4 or 5 years ago. I have no regrets giving it to you, but I wish I would have gotten another one for myself because I did see it twice. And Deontay was just like, here you go. I have one and I'm sending it to you. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome. So a figure that I regret not getting, Deontay kind of filled that void by sending it to me. Actually, he did fill that void because now I have it and I'm so stoked. I love the t-shirt series that Walmart was doing back in the day. I love the packaging. It was like a blue card and it had the wrestler's face in the back. I just love it. And so when I saw it, I was like, yes, this is awesome. So I want to thank Deontay for sending that over.
Yeah, Deontay's a hell of a guy, man. He sent me the Killian Dane NXT Elite for my birthday this year. Totally appreciated it. And if you're not giving him a follow on Twitter, you should. Deontay is an awesome dude. Like you mentioned, Jeff, a fellow metalhead. Great dude. Give him a follow on Twitter for sure.
That was my Toy Spot in this past week. How about you, Scott?
I checked Walmart because like you, I'm on the hunt for the Morocco and the Gorilla. Came up dry. Unfortunately, they didn't have those guys yet. Big surprise, right? West Coast. I did check Big Lots as well. They had an Aiden English Elite, but it doesn't look like they stocked up the wrestling figures for Christmas yet, because normally they'll get a pretty good shipment in and start throwing them up, but not yet at our Big Lots. So I'm checking on there to see kind of what Elite series they put up for $10, but nothing at Big Lots yet. Walmart's dry. Like you, I'm hunting that Morocco and Gorilla for sure.
Absolutely. I did go to Target on Black Friday, I do have to say, and no figures, but we did walk away with a vacuum cleaner.
Oh, wow. Vacuum cleaner spotting.
And an air fryer, too.
Riveting stuff, dude. Thank you for sharing.
Air fryer spotting, you know.
I'm sure the listeners are like glued to their speakers right now. Did he say air fryer? Oh, dude.
Oh, did you make sweet potato fries?
How's the fried chicken, dude? Is it great?
I haven't tried it. We haven't popped it out of the box yet.
Actually, I've heard fried chicken out of the air fryer is better than like the unhealthiest fried chicken you can eat. Because normally, like, that's the best fried chicken is like the unhealthiest that you can get. But I've heard that air fryer fried chicken is incredible.
Well, I got to give that a shot.
Definitely give it a shot because it's healthier, right? And you get that fix of fried chicken, that beautiful crunch, which, by the way, I've had 2 Popeye sandwiches this week alone. I might have a problem. But yeah, when you try that air fryer fried chicken, let me know how it is because I'm thinking about getting one myself.
Ryan from Wrestling Toy Tracker, he said, I just got done listening to a podcast about energy drinks and chicken fried sandwiches that also discussed wrestling figures.
Yeah, we're going a little bit heavy on food right now, maybe because I'm hungry. But yeah, let me know how that fried chicken is out of the air fryer. I might have to go pick one up too.
I'll have a review for you next week. It'll take over the Bang segment. By the way, I tried Lemon Drop Bang for the first time. Oh my God, that one is top 2, top 3 easily.
Yes, Lemon Drop is outstanding, and this is another subject we discussed before coming on the air tonight. But Miami Cola is quickly becoming a go-to. It's given me, because I don't drink a lot of soda. Really, the only carbonation I get is through Bang, and I only drink about 2, maybe 3 per week on those. But it gives me that soda fix, and I am really digging Miami Cola.
Miami Cola is really good, dude. I actually like that one a lot.
I do too. So it's quickly moving up the charts. Quickly. I don't know if it's top 3 yet, but it's really good.
Scott, we do have one thing of news, so what do you say we jump into it?
Oh, we're going to talk wrestling figures now? Sweet. Let's talk about it.
Oh, you gonna learn today.
Scott, Super 7 showed off the Kazuchika Okada in the jacket, showed off the Ishii with the Chaos Stone Pitbull t-shirt, showed off the Will Ospreay with the jacket, and showed off the completed Tanahashi. Let's go back to Okada. He will be coming in the Okada jacket. It's a soft goods jacket. It looks great. We'll have the necklace, the Okada bucks, the title, and a second Okada head. Awesome figure. The jacket is living up to what I was hoping it would be. Ishii will come with that Chaos Stone Pitbull t-shirt, come with a never open weight title again. Will Ospreay will have a blue, red, and white jacket on. And Tanahashi will come with that vintage Tanahashi jacket also. Scott, what did you think of the completed figures? We had talked about them before, but now we have seen them completed.
Yeah, that Okada. Wow. I mean, just wow. It's everything you'd want an Okada figure to be. It's perfect. Again, it's what Super 7 does. You're paying a premium for it. Yeah, it's a $45 figure. That's a lot of money to pay for one figure, but you get a ton of accessories with it, and you get that jacket, and you get that IWGP heavyweight title. It's an incredible, incredible figure, dude. Like, I can't say enough good things about it. I can't wait to have it in hand. It's the only one that I ordered out of the 4 of them. Okada's the only one coming my way. I like the Ospreay a lot. The Ishii looks really, really cool. But man, that Tanahashi, if I was tempted to get a second one, it was the Tanahashi. I was like, dude, he comes with a guitar. His jacket looks great. I think the head sculpt on it is really good. An incredible first 4 figures right out of the chute for Super 7. I am very, very impressed. The cream of the crop, though, without a shadow of a doubt, is the Okada. I love that figure.
All 4 of these figures are fantastic. The Ishii is it's perfect. It's Ishii. Tanahashi is really good. Ospreay is really good. Okada is, like you said, the cream of the crop. That jacket is fantastic. The Okada bucks, from top to bottom, that is the figure that we had all dreamt about. Super 7 crushed it on all 4.
Yeah, and again, $45, yes, that's quite a bit to pay for one figure, but look at what you're getting. Super 7 just absolutely knocked it out of the park. The figures look great. Like you, I can't wait to get mine either. But for an initial, these are our first 4 figures. This is our introduction series. Wow. Incredible job, Super 7. I am very, very impressed. The Okada, like you said, Jeff, is everything that an Okada fan wants in a figure. I'd be really curious to see, because pre-orders are now closed. You can't go pre-order these figures anymore. We have to wait until June to get those figures that were pre-ordered. I'd be really curious to see what the numbers are on these guys in terms of who sold the most to who sold the least. I would ballpark and guess Okada 1, Tanahashi 2, Ospreay 3, Ishii 4.
Sounds about right.
I don't know if that's correct, but based on the names alone, that would be my guess.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But you can't go wrong with any of those figures.
They're all outstanding. And I mean, I guess you would say that the name value alone, Ishii would be the weakest of the bunch, but go look at his figure. It's incredible. I mean, Super 7 just absolutely killed it. So again, for their initial offering, these are our first 4 figures to launch the NJPW line. Well done. I mean, home run, no doubt about it. Just a great job all around on these.
So those are the Super 7 New Japan figures. Scott, the giveaway for the Macho Man Slim Jim figure
You're going to do it again, aren't you?
will be announced later in the show. Scott, we do have a listener segment to get into, so what do you say we jump into it?
You jerk. Let's talk to the listeners.
And I just want to hear from my people. Tell me, can I hear from my people? I just want to hear from my people. And I just want to listen to the listeners.
Scott, this first audio comes in from Ring Skirts, a.k.a. Nate. What does Nate got to say?
What's up, Jeff and Scott, Fully Poseable. This is Ring Skirts coming to you live from the Wrestle Cave. I'm staring at the beautiful glowing lights of the Wrestle Tree right now, feeling all warm and holiday goodness inside, and I'd like to spread that to you guys and everybody in the community. I'm really enjoying the new segment, the Change Up, and I'd like to give you a submission for a figure that I think should be considered for the Change Up. As a kid growing up, I grew up with the Hasbro line, and I loved pretty much all of the Macho Man figures. The first one, I know you guys hold in high esteem. The second one, Macho King or Macho Man Purple Trunks, whatever one you had, either way, that was my favorite Macho Man. But the last Macho Man, the one with the jacket and the entrance gear, that was one that it's great for what it is, but there are some slight details that I think could have been changed to make it exponentially better. So this, in essence, is an entrance gear figure of the Macho Man. But out of all of the Hasbro Macho Man figures, he's the only figure that doesn't have his sunglasses on. All the other figures are ring gear figures. They have sunglasses. The one that's supposed to be his entrance gear figure, no sunglasses. I don't get it. I didn't get it as a kid. It bugged me then. It bugs me a bit now. If they would have just added the sunglasses to the last figure, I think it would be near perfect. Another little tweak that I think would have made it have more playability and even look a little nicer is if they had removed the plastic fringe and added some sort of streamers, kind of like the Slim Jim Macho Man has. That way it could be more poseable. It'd look nicer on a shelf. It would be funner to play with as a kid. So 2 slight changes to that last Macho Man figure in the Hasbro series, I think would have made it miles better. Keep up the great work, guys. Love the new segment. You guys are always keeping things fresh and new. Love you and happy holidays.
Nate, we love you too over here, man. Happy holidays to you and your family over there. And God bless that Wrestle Cave. That thing is a thing of beaut.
Absolutely it is.
Thank you for the kind words regarding the change-up. We're always trying to think up of new segments, interactive segments. We'd love to hear what you guys think of the change-up. Nate seemed to like it. Now, regarding the figure that Nate was bringing up regarding the Macho Man series, the third Macho Man, I should say, in the Hasbro line. It was the one with the top hat. It had the green streamers hanging down. It was a hard plastic. It was in the jacket. Not one of the best Macho Mans ever made, in my opinion. I liked it, but it wasn't, it just didn't hit that feeling, if you know what I mean, Scott. Just didn't hit me in the feels.
Now, I think it would have if they had actually put him in his WrestleMania 7 outfit.
Holy crap, are you reading my mind, dude?
Oh, I'm sorry if I stole some of your thunder there. I didn't know you were going in that direction. But I think it would have held more meaning to you had they put him in that outfit. But it's kind of cool hearing Nate's perspective on it because that was one of his favorite figures. And it never occurred to me that the first two Macho Man figures were supposed to be like in ring because they didn't have his ring gear on, but he had his sunglasses on. And then it never occurred to me. And then the one that he comes is supposed to be his actual ring gear, no sunglasses. I missed that one completely. So that's a great catch by Nate. And I could see how that would bother you. That's really strange they would go in that direction. I love it. Contributing to the change up. And you're right. Those few tweaks that you mentioned would absolutely fix that thing up. And Jeff, I think that by putting him in WrestleMania 7 in that outfit, that would have immediately fixed it up for you too.
That's what I was going to say is this should have been the very first WrestleMania 7 Macho Man figure. Now, I don't know if the time frame would have worked out because I think that Macho came out in mid-93, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it was in 93 that he came out.
Yeah, they could have done that. They could have put him in his WrestleMania 7 outfit.
For sure they could have. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Because WrestleMania 7 was in 91. Yeah, they could have definitely done that.
Oh, yeah, they had plenty of time to tool that one up. But, I mean, it's a cool Macho Man. I don't hate it. But out of the three that they offered in the Hasbro line, I agree with you, Jeff. It's my least favorite of the three. But we've talked about it since episode 1. Figures that were made in their ring gear were not my favorites because I preferred to have them in the ring fighting or wrestling. And when they were in their ring gear, it kind of took away that realism for me. So it was more that Macho Man would be used to kind of do the Macho Man entrance. And then I'd pull like either the series that had the Macho Man or Macho King on the trunks or the Series 1 Macho Man, and that would be my in-ring performer. But the other one in the gear would just, or the entrance gear, would just be his entrance figure.
I didn't mind the figure. It's just when I would pick up figures and go to play with figures, I would always tend to go with the Macho King. And also, I've come to realize that the pose with the spring, not the spring punch arm, with the clothesline, where the arm would rotate at the elbow and then you could pull the guy back and clothesline. I think that's my favorite pose that they did because I tend to lean towards figures that had that pose. For example, you were talking about Owen and Anvil last week.
Yes.
I would play with those figures because you were able to kind of move the elbow and do clotheslines.
Yeah, Brian Knobbs too.
Brian Knobbs, exactly. And many others had that one. Like when Tatanka had both of them that would flex out.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
You're like that meme of Vince like falling over in his chair. It's like the first one is like the one hook elbow and you're like Vince like with his eyebrows raised and then it shows Tatanka and you're like Vince falling out of his chair.
But yeah, I love that Tatanka and I love that pose. So I think that's why I always tended to play with the Macho King. Also with the Macho King, I hate to say it, but he had like the perfect tan. The purple trunks looked awesome on him. The hair was awesome. It came with the crown. I just love that Macho King.
So you're right in lockstep with Nate then, because he said that was his favorite Macho, so you agree with him.
Right.
So you like that one better than Series 1 Macho Man?
Maybe.
Wow.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That first one still holds a special place in my heart, you know?
Yeah, in my opinion, that's a perfect Macho Man, especially given the scale that the Hasbros were in. They just did an incredible job capturing the Macho Man likeness, but all three of them are great. But that first one, now that you've mentioned like favorite Hasbro mechanisms, I'm partial to the Macho Man's mechanism on Series 1. And in conjunction with that, the Shawn Michaels or the HBK figure in the red and white tights, that mechanism to me and the Rick Martel, that's my favorite Hasbro mechanism. So I could be more partial to the Macho Man Series 1 because it had that Hasbro mechanism on it, and that was my favorite. But I think we can all agree that the Jumpy, that Hasbro mechanism, that one has to go.
Yes, much agreed.
Yeah, not a fan.
Thank you, Nate, for sending that in. I'm glad you enjoyed the change up, and we hope that other people would like to jump in on the change up as well. Scott, next audio comes from Nick Jones. Let's see what he's got to say.
Hey guys, congratulations on over 200 episodes. I've been a long-time listener, and I wanted to ask a couple questions for the both of you guys. Have you guys noticed that nowadays with, companies such as Walmart and Target and places like that having such a problem with distribution compared to, in the 80s and 90s, where we grew up, where we had, stores such as KB Toys, Hill's Department Store, places like that, it always seemed like the stock and the aisles was just, over surplus. You could walk into a Toys R Us and there'd be an entire aisle of wrestling stuff, not just a small little section. Nowadays, you walk in there and, you're lucky to find like maybe 5 or 6 of the same basics, over and over again. And these chase figures are like impossible to find too. My second question is, what is the figure or figures that you remember buying, like with your own money, besides like when you were a kid, like once you got your allowance, do you remember what figures that you bought? I remember some of the ones that I first bought was the Jakks BCAs at Toys R Us and KB Toys. I was really psyched to find, a lot of the first series of like The Undertaker and Razor and Kevin Nash and stuff like that. But congratulations on over 200 episodes. Love the show. Such nostalgic feels almost every time. I love hearing the stories. And I'll see y'all later.
Nick, thank you for that submission. I always love hearing from new listeners. To answer your question, yes, of course. We definitely see a huge change in how toy stores, used to stock their shelves compared to now. It's night and day. I remember that Hasbro commercial where Mean Gene is at a Toys R Us and he invites in LOD. And there's just a huge amount of toys, Hasbro toys, behind Mean Gene, and he's bringing out the wrestling buddies, and he's pointing out the figures and the rings and all. I mean, it's a huge section of Hasbro. That wasn't an exaggeration. That was any given Toys R Us in the early 90s. And if you went back a little bit further and had done an LJN commercial of the same type, it would have been no different. I remember, Jeff, our Toys R Us had 2 4-foot sections set up with shelving, and all that was on the shelving in those 2 4-foot sections, so 8 feet of shelf, multiple shelves, all they had was tag teams, LJN tag teams, from top to bottom, side to side, stocked front to back, full of LJN tag teams. Next to that was at least 1 4-foot section, if not half of another 4-foot section, stocked with LJN figures. So you had 12 feet plus of retail space devoted to LJNs, and it was incredible. There was never a shortage of figures. You never went in and you're like, oh man, like I can't find so-and-so. Like, oh gosh, I need an Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov tag team set. They had hundreds. You needed a Hogan LJN. There were 200 of those. There were a few figures that were a little bit harder to find, especially as the line went on, but it was never hard to find a lot of those figures. Compared to now, where you mentioned, Nick, specifically the chase figures, it's almost impossible. You almost have to luck out and get there and have a right place, right time sort of situation. But back then, there wasn't any such thing as a chase figure. It was just, here's the new series, go get them. When lines started to dry out, LJNs and Hasbros, of course, those figures became harder to find. But earlier series, no problem at all. Remember, Jeff, Hasbro Tag Team Series 1, that would have been Demolition, the Rockers, and the Bushwhackers, how easy those were to find?
Oh, those were so easy. I mean, like literally we'd walk into KB Toys, we'd walk into Toys R Us, or we'd walk into Castro Village Toy Shop and they were right there.
Just rows and rows of the Hasbro tag teams. No problem finding them. And I miss those days. To be perfectly honest, I preferred, and I don't know if this makes sense from a retail standpoint, I'm sure it does not, but as a customer, I preferred having the plethora of figures up on the shelves or on the pegs. That was my preference. And to get to Nick's question about the first figure that we bought with our own money, I think we all know and love the story of the Iron Sheik LJN. Mom did not give us a choice. She wasn't buying it for us, but we had to have an Iron Sheik in the collection, and darn it, we took our Christmas money and we went and bought an Iron Sheik.
She even had it on lockdown with Grandma and Grandpa that we couldn't even go get them. So we had to go and find Iron Sheik ourselves and buy them ourselves with Christmas money. It was just so frustrating. Mom was like, oh no, it says I ran down the side of the pants. And it's like, Really? What is... I don't even know where Iran is. Just by the figure. Come on.
Yeah, we need to have this guy doing the camel clutch. Come on. But yeah, that's funny that you mentioned that. I forgot that she had actually told our grandparents that they couldn't buy him for us either, because we would go toy shopping with them as well. They would take us to like Mervin's, I think was like their big spot. And she told them specifically, do not buy them the Iron Sheik figure. We're not supporting that. And we had to go buy that figure with our own money.
But yet she would buy us Nikolai Volkov and it said USSR. And now I don't know what mom's deal was between the two, but she was more than willing to buy us Nikolai, but not Iron Sheik.
Yeah, exactly. And then later on, they bought us the first few series of Hasbro's, but I remember specifically the Red Card series because that was the first one. No, actually it was before that. The first series I remember buying with my own money, Jeff, I was at college and I was going to Chabot and Toys R Us was right down the way on Hesperian Boulevard there. And between classes, we'd go eat the pizza buffet at Pizza Hut. And then we'd go down the way, or was it Straw Hat? It was Straw Hat. We'd hit the Straw Hat buffet for lunch. And then I'd go to Toys R Us afterwards, or sometimes it would be Sizzler buffet, which was actually right next door to Toys R Us. We'd go get lunch, and then I'd always go to Toys R Us and look at the wrestling figures. And I remember going in one day, and I had just gotten my job at Sport Mart. And so I had some money on me. And they had just gotten in the Hasbro series that had Sid, Anvil, Virgil. It was that series. And I bought the entire set. They gave me the huge Toys R Us bag. I threw them in the back of the truck, and I'm like, I cannot wait to surprise Jeff with these. And I think I left them on your bed, so when you got home from school, you'd come trudging up the stairs, throw your backpack down, and I think I had them sitting on your bed. And you're like, oh, dude, new Hasbro's. And so we jump in, start tearing them open. But that was the first series of Hasbro figures that I remember buying with my own money.
I do remember that day. One of two things would happen. You would have already gone to Castro Village Toy Shop, picked up the figures, dropped them on the bed, came and picked me up, go get Burrito Shop. And then when we come back, we would pop in Royal Rumble 91 or 92. And then we'd crack open the Hasbro's while eating Burrito Shop. Or you would pick me up, go to Castro Village Toy Shop, pick up the figures, go get Burrito Shop, and then go pop in Royal Rumble 91 or 92.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much how it went down. But then later on, when I was going to Cal State Hayward, it was a little bit easy for me right after class just to go to Castro Valley because it was just a few exits down on the freeway. Run over to Castro Village Toy Shop, see John. He'd crack open the case right in front of me, give me the figures I needed, bag them up, and then I'd come home and throw them on the bed, and then I'd go pick you up from school, we'd go get Burrito Shop, come home, oh, new figures, this is awesome! And then, like you said, crack open Hasbro's, eat Burrito Shop, watch Royal Rumble 91. Oh, dude, those were the good old days, weren't they?
And they sure were, man. Didn't have a care in the world.
Yeah, Nick, thank you for taking us back, man. We love that.
So I do have to say, the first figures I purchased, now I can't remember exactly which ones were the first ones I purchased because I was watching Auntie at the time, our great aunt, and I was helping our parents out with watching her. And so parents would always pay me for watching Auntie. And I would get the money and then I would fill up my car with gas and then go get lunch and then head over to Toys R Us and pick up figures. Now, I can't remember what the figures were that I picked up like immediately. I don't remember if it was BCA's or Sean and I would jump in his truck after mom and dad would get home. And then we'd drive out to KB Toys and pick out figures there. I also remember picking up the vibrating figures with my own money. Those might have been the very first ones. Something not to be proud of, right? But
you bought the whole set of those, didn't you?
I wouldn't say the whole set.
I did. I bought the whole set. Such a mark for figures, man.
Well, that one I remember heading down to Kmart. And Sean and I ran down there for something he needed. And I walked in and I was like, wait, these are WCW figures. And I remember Big Show.
Well, yeah. And also that was the first release of Crow Sting. So the first Crow Sting was his vibrating figure. And so, of course, you couldn't not buy it. You had to buy it. It just vibrated.
The WCW vibrating figures were the first figures I picked up with my own money. Something not to be proud of.
Yeah. And we'll just leave that right there.
Oh, man, let's move on.
Yeah, who booked this crap?
Nick, thank you very much for taking us back, man. That was a lot of fun, man. Send in any audio questions in the future, man. We love to answer them on the air. And if anybody has anything to ask us, it doesn't even have to be about wrestling figures. We'll talk your ear off about movies, music, energy drinks. I don't know if you guys know this, but we talk energy drinks on the show.
Chicken sandwiches.
Yes, we will talk your ears off regarding those.
Starting lineups. Hit us with some starting lineups, too. G.I. Joe, He-Man, we grew up in the golden age of toys, so throw it at us. We'll talk it.
Scott, next question comes in from Josh Thompson. Hey, Jeff and Scott, JT here back with that weekly question. When regarding Super 7 and Big Boss Studio figures, you guys said that the reason why they were prices was because of they were smaller business, at least smaller than Mattel. Do you think that if Super 7 and Boss Fight were bigger companies, the prices of these figures would be the same or different? Personally, I think the prices will stay the same or around the same ballpark price. The reason is because of what we are getting for our buck. Legends of Lucha series has everything that would be included in a Mattel Ultimate Edition line, and it's only $4 more than Mattel's Ultimate Edition. Meanwhile, Super 7 is giving us New Japan guys with 3 sets of hands and extra head, cloth accessories, and that sweet, sweet chest articulation. But what do you guys think?
I can only go off of what Chris has told us, and their prices are higher because they aren't able to produce the volume that a Mattel is or a Hasbro is. I'm not just talking wrestling figures here. I'm just talking volume of figures that can be put out. So with that being said, not being able to put out the numbers that the bigger toy companies are, their costs are going to increase. So I really think if they were able to form like one mega company, like Super 7 and Boss Fight somehow magically combined, and were able to pump out a greater number of figures, therefore maybe decreasing their costs a little bit because they have a higher volume pumping out, maybe the price would come down a little bit. But to your point, JT, with all of the stuff that comes with them, you're already gearing yourself towards a collector market and not a retail market as it is. So really, with the price discrepancy and the fact that you're gearing more towards a collector market, I don't really have a problem with the price point as it stands now, given their place in the toy community and where they stand and what they're giving us as the end result, that figure. I really don't have an issue with the price. I mean, $38 for the Boss Fight, $45 for the Super 7. Look at all of the stuff that you're getting with it, the attention to detail. It blows a lot of other figures out of the water. So I really don't have an issue with the price. I mean, maybe if they formed one bigger company, they could bring it down a little bit. It's just not worth it. It's cool to have the separate companies, all these different players now jumping into the wrestling figure market. I'm loving it. It's a lot of competition, and competition is going to make them better. So I'll pay a little bit extra. I don't mind.
In my opinion, it all comes down to the volume. Mattel can pump out all these figures where Super 7, Figures Toy Company, Boss Fight, they're not producing as much. I'm just reiterating what Scott said because it goes back to what Chris has always said, and it comes down to the volume, and that means higher the price.
Yeah, and look, you're getting fewer of these figures as opposed to, like you said, Jeff, these are geared more towards a collector's market, so you're going to pay that collector's premium, right? You see that with a lot of different toy lines, though. Star Wars, for example, has different price points of figures. Marvel, DC, they all have different price points of figures, and it's all geared towards a different market. You know, you've got your run-of-the-mill retail, but then you've got your collector side of it. So that's kind of where Boss Fight, Figures Toy Company, and Super 7 are falling in, is that collector side, and you're going to pay more for that. You're not paying retail, you're paying a collector's market price. So again, maybe they could bring it down a little bit if they produced more, but I like it where it's at now. I'm okay with it. If you're going to get that collector's figure, you got to pay a collector's price.
If they're producing all these figures, where are they? Because they're not on our pegs, I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's a whole different issue. But to JT's point, he's right. You're getting all of these cool features on these collectors-driven figures. So, you know, if you're going to complain that they're not $20 like an Elite is, well, you're not paying for an Elite figure. You're getting more than an Elite figure, and you've got to pay that price. You're not getting a retail product. You're getting a collector market product. So I get the price difference. If it's not your cup of tea, then don't buy it. You know, there's plenty of Mattel figures out there to purchase. Even the Ultimate Editions, when on sale, can fall around the $20 to $25 range. So if that's more your cup of tea, go for it. But being a fan of the Lucha figures and of the Super 7 figures and the FTC ones, I'm willing to pay a little bit extra for that.
Scott, that figure is still hanging up in the air. It's like a briefcase sitting up there, and people need to climb the ladder to reach and grab it. And inside is that Macho Man Slim Jim figure. And someone tonight will be walking away with that figure. But first, we have to do the nostalgia segment. So what do you say we jump into it?
You're such a jerk.
What's up, trivia lovers? It's your pal Ryan Buds, host of the Trivia with Buds podcast, a pop culture question and answer show that comes out every single day. There's over 650 episodes to check out on just about every topic you can imagine, with recent episodes on NBC sitcoms, The Breakfast Club, Disney Plus, Stephen King books, and Nickelodeon, just to name a few. Find Trivia with Buds on your favorite podcast app and hit subscribe to never miss an episode. P.S. It's great for road trips. Cheers.
Going back in time for nostalgia. We're going back in time, nostalgia.
Scott, before we jump into nostalgia, there is a figure that I do want to talk about. It is the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, brought to you by Playmates. It is one of the Ninja Turtles. It's Wrestling Leo, aka Neon Leo. He has a blue shirt on with a TV on the front. I don't know much about these Nickelodeon Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle figures, so I'm going to be sounding kind of ignorant on this. But he does have khaki shorts on, a blue hat that's kind of turned backwards, and a title belt. Kind of cool, actually.
So this is obviously not the first Turtles in Wrestling mashup, but
correct.
For what that one is, huge thanks to Breaker for pointing this one out. I would actually like to see them make the other three Turtles in wrestling gear and see where that goes. So again, not the first Turtles wrestling mashup, but I do like this one a lot. That one's pretty cool looking.
So thank you, Breaker, for sending that over. That is kind of cool, dude. I kind of dig that one.
Yeah, I like that one too. I mean, I'm already a fan of Turtles anyway, so when they combine it with wrestling, that's just a win for me.
Are you watching the cartoons?
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh.
Not at all. Just from childhood, I just love the Ninja Turtles.
Scott, we are doing Series 2 of Defining Moments. What do you say you hit those up?
Yes, sir. Defining Moments, and we'll be covering Series 2 today. So we're only going to be discussing two figures, but what two figures they are, Jeff. First up, The Rock. And The Rock comes with a Rock and Sock Connection jacket, his Rock $1,000 shirt, gold sunglasses, and a microphone. The second figure in Defining Moments Series 2, last but certainly not least, Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania 7. He comes in that beautiful, beautiful jacket that he wore at WrestleMania 7. He's got Macho and Warrior on his trunks, and he's got Macho and Warrior on the knee pads in what is a perfect representation of the Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania 7 to be paired with the Macho Man Series 1 Defining Moments in his WrestleMania 7 gear. And Jeff, before we round out Series 2 of the Defining Moments, you gave me some price listings here. Yep. So first up, on the Rock figure, you found that there are currently 4 listings on eBay, and they are ranging, they are ranging from $149 all the way to $250. Ultimate Warrior from WrestleMania 7. There are currently 7 listings on eBay. Quite a bit of range here. Those 7 listings range from $80 all the way to $275. Were any of those signed by chance?
No, none of them were signed. The Rock one didn't surprise me. The Warrior one kind of did, but I think the people that were throwing out the $275 kind of offer was basically hoping someone would bite on it.
Gotcha.
So I think it's basically, hey, I'm going to throw this figure up for $275. Thoughts and prayers, somebody bids on it and buy it now for $275. Cool for me if they do.
Yeah, maybe they really don't want to sell it, but if somebody hits that number, then they'll sell it, like that dude at the San Jose Toy Show that always has the carded Hogan, LJN, the white shirt.
Correct.
Like, I'll ask $5,000. Like, I don't want to sell it, but if somebody pays it, then we'll take it.
Correct. Yeah, it's like, I think they just threw it up because they just wanted to see if somebody would pay the $275. I think that they really don't care if they have it or not. I think they just threw it up and said, let's hope I get nearly $300 for this.
Yeah, which is insane. But hey, that's Defining Moments, man, and prices are only going to go up. This is a retired series. Obviously, Series 2 are going to be way harder to find, but that Rock price really surprised me. Out of these two, obviously my favorite is going to be the Ultimate Warrior. I just think that is such a perfect Ultimate Warrior. They just so captured his WrestleMania 7 entrance gear and made it into a figure. It's unbelievable. And thank goodness they had the open back of the package, so if you kept it on the card or inside the box, you could spin it around and get a history of the match in addition to seeing the back of the jacket. The thing is beautiful. I mean, it is so perfect. The attention to detail that Mattel put into this Defining Moments figure is unbelievable. Well done, Mattel. This thing is a work of art. The Rock figure is outstanding as well, but it pales, in my opinion alone, pales in comparison to that Ultimate Warrior.
The Warrior, I've said this before, I love everything about the Warrior except the facial expression. There's something about that stoic face that just, to me, did not capture Warrior.
I think it would have been better served for Mattel, Jeff, to your point, to maybe put that head sculpt from that basic, 98? That Ultimate Warrior? 98 or 99, I'm losing track of the basic series here, but that one that's my favorite basic of all time, that Ultimate Warrior, to maybe put that yelling Warrior head sculpt onto this figure here might have made it a bigger or a better figure in your opinion.
Yeah, to me, that would have been probably the best Warrior figure of all time if they would have used a different face. The stoic face just didn't do it for me. It looked like he was almost like he was crunching up an apple in his mouth or something like that. The face just didn't hit my senses, but everything else about that figure is so beautiful. The jacket is great, the knee pads, the trunks. I mean, everything about it is just fantastic, except the face, and that's what bothers me, is the face just kind of deters me from saying that is the greatest Warrior figure of all time. Now, jumping back to the Rock figure, that one shocked the hell out of me. I did not expect to see those prices on eBay. I saw that figure in stores and I was like, why would I buy this? Seriously, why would I buy this figure? Because that was from This Is Your Life moment, right?
That's correct.
That segment was funny to me. It was memorable, but it wasn't like one of my all-time favorite moments. The figure was cool. It came with that cool rock and sock jacket, but I wasn't at the time going to pay $30 for it or $25 for it, whatever it was.
From Mattel's standpoint, though, it's clear why they made this figure. That This Is Your Life segment is the highest rated Raw segment of all time.
Touche.
And you're making The Rock, who is maybe the most popular man in the entire world. You combine those two things into a wrestling figure, I would say that does make a defining moment. As much as you and I maybe say, I mean, it was okay. There was a lot of cool stuff going on Raw back in the day, but from Mattel's standpoint, I completely understand why they made this a defining moments figure. In my mind, it does classify as a defining moment, given the magnitude of the moment that they were going for, and the wrestler involved, and the accessories that they included with him, because you got the shirt, you got the jacket, all soft goods, by the way, the sunglasses, the microphone. That, in my mind, does constitute a little bit more than an elite and does go into what should come with the Defining Moments figure. And we'll get into more of those things later on in the nostalgia down the road. But it's funny that you were talking about that Ultimate Warrior, Jeff, and how the face on it deters you from saying that is the best Warrior of all time. The Warrior figure, normally when I look at a wrestling figure, one of the first things that catches my eye is the face sculpt. Does it look like the wrestler that it's going for? With that Warrior, I don't look at the face first. The first thing that catches my eye when I look at that figure is the jacket. And then it's the knee pads. And then it's the trunks. And then I want to spin it around and look at the back of the jacket, because remembering watching the show how great that jacket was, I want to see the attention to detail that Mattel put into the figure. The last thing I notice is the face. And that's out of the norm for me, because usually it's the first thing I look at. With this one, it's the last thing I look at because of the detail that went into everything else about that figure aside from the head sculpt.
So you say that's the best Warrior of all time?
I mean, you could make it better by doing a mashup. The Warrior, I keep wanting to say it's 98. The basic 98 Warrior is my favorite basic of all time. I'll put the Warrior WrestleMania 7 Defining Moment Series 2 up against it, and I would pick this Warrior. So, and then I do love that classic Superstar Series 1. I'm going to hold off on saying it's the best. If I were Dave Portnoy doing a pizza review,
El Presidente,
because there could be better Warriors in the future, and I agree with you, Jeff, that the head sculpt on it is not the best. I would give it a 10, but there are better head sculpts of the Warrior out there that if you did a head swap, that figure would become a 10. So I would give it a 9.9. So right now, if I were to take all the Warriors, that would be the best one. But the problem, I can't give it a 10 because there are better heads that you could put on that and make a better Ultimate Warrior figure from top to bottom.
9.9 on that Warrior, huh?
Yes, and I'm giving it a 9.9 because it's almost perfect. It's that 0.01, and I agree with you on the head sculpt. It's good. You can clearly see that it's the Ultimate Warrior, but Mattel's done better Warrior head sculpts. And I keep going back to that. Basic 98 is better. So you head swap, you've got a 10. So that's why I can't give that Defining Moments Warrior a 10. I would love to. I want to. But because the head sculpt would make it better if they used a different head on it, I got to give it a 9.9. You swap out the head with, say, that Basic 98 Warrior, 10.
All right, that's all subjective. It's all subjective, but you're wrong. So...
You know what? I would actually like to see, because it's been a while since that figure was released, I want to see Mattel do another Warrior like that. Give me an Ultimate Edition of that Warrior without the face paint, because by the end of the match, his face paint was toast. But you do an Ultimate Warrior with no jacket on and multiple heads, and then you include the jacket in the packaging. I think that'd make an outstanding Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warrior. I want to see them take another stab at that one, in addition to the WrestleMania 7 Macho Man.
Wouldn't be opposed to that. That's a good call.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Going back to the Rock, This Is Your Life segment, you know what would have been better than the Rock in that Defining Moment packaging?
What?
The girlfriend that cut him off at second base. That would have been better.
Because nobody cuts the Rock off at second base, damn it.
Correct. Or what about the girl or the clown that was making the balloons?
Oh, gosh. It's on the tip of my tongue. Yodel or something?
That would be better than the Rock being in there.
I can't remember that clown's name, but yes, you're right. That would have been incredible if they could have included a clown as an accessory, at least.
You know what they actually should have done? Made a 5-pack of This Is Your Life and have it be like the friend that cut him off at second base, the clown, Mick Foley, Rock, and then the teacher that flunked him or something like that.
Yeah. No, that... I can't ever see Mattel doing something like that.
No. But that would be kind of interesting to do, because it's like a 5-pack of This Is Your Life segment. That would be hilarious, dude.
Now, I could see maybe doing something along the lines of like the Milkamania with the milk truck thing, but you're only doing the Rock and Mankind in there, but like all of the cool accessories that they had with it, like all of the books, like, because I think they were holding the This Is Your Life book.
And the balloons.
Yeah, and then the balloons, like you could just include a bunch of accessories with it. You know what paled in comparison to that segment was when Alexa Bliss tried to get that same vibe going with Bayley, and they did a This Is Your Life, and that thing just fell so flat. It was like the polar opposite of what was the This Is Your Life with Mankind and Rock, was what Alexa did with Bayley. It was horrible.
Yeah, that was pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, very cringeworthy.
Scott, eBay prices surprise you?
I didn't think the Rock would be that high, but again, supply and demand, I guess it warrants it. The Warrior is pretty easy to find out there if you're really, really hunting. Pretty plentiful. Obviously, you had that there are more than the Rock, and they're from the same series. So you usually see more Warriors out there. You do see a lot of loose ones. You see the occasional mint in box ones. I'm kind of surprised at the Rock prices, but not so surprised at Warrior on the low side. On the high side, definitely surprised. I think $275 is a little out of bounds for that Warrior.
So, Scott, that rounds out the Defining Moments Series 2. And without further ado, Scott, it is time that we announce the Macho Man Slim Jim winner.
Oh, no more teasing? You're finally going to do it?
I am done teasing you. I was going to wait till the end of the show. Scott, the winner of the Macho Man Slim Jim giveaway. Oh, by the way, I've got a funny story regarding a Bray Wyatt loose figure I have.
You're literally the worst.
So I have a Bray Wyatt Elite loose figure sitting in his rocking chair, and I couldn't find the hat.
Oh, I remember this.
One of the cats knocked the hat off, and I kept yelling at the cat, "Where's Bray's hat?"
Yeah.
For 3 days straight, I yelled at the cat, "Where's Bray's hat?" I looked for this hat. I could not find this hat. We found the hat.
Oh, good.
Mom found it, actually, and put it up on the mantle, on the fireplace mantle, not telling us that the hat was up there.
Dude, how long was it there?
For about 2 days.
Oh, wow.
So for a total of 5 days, I was yelling at the cat, "Where's Bray's hat?"
Oh, poor cat's Mom already found it.
I know. She's like, if you look up on the mantle, you idiot.
Aww.
So the new cat, Shira, lives to see another day.
Good. So no more beating the cat. No more yelling at her. You finally found Bray's hat.
Hold on. I never beat the cat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Back to the giveaway. I'm doing a giveaway, Scott. You got to keep me on track.
It's not my job. I'm not the host.
Oh. Scott, the winner of the Macho Man Slim Jim, you have 7 days to hit us up. And this person that has to hit us up within 7 days, this person's name is Chris Micchio, or on Twitter at Chris_Micchio. You have 7 days to hit us up. If you do within that 7 days, we will send you the Macho Man figure. If you do not, everyone that retweeted the Macho Man Slim Jim giveaway get another shot at it. So, Chris, you have 7 days. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Chris. That's awesome, man.
Yep. So, Scott, that rounds out the show. Chris, again, congratulations. Everyone, head on over to Wrestling Toy Tracker if you're looking for some Galoobs, Hasbros, LJNs, or Retros. Hit up Ryan at toy_tracker. If there are any figures that you are looking to purchase, go on over there. Check out the values of carded and loose. Scott, Eagle Moss.
Yes, if you have wrestling collectors or fans in your life, outside of yourself, of course, and you're looking for something cheap to get them around Christmas time, something not too expensive so you don't get too much wallet heat, check out Eagle Moss on Twitter at HeroCollector_. They make these great WWE statues, full color box with a clear window front to see which statue's inside. Statue stands around 4 inches tall, maybe 5 inches tall. Full color magazine on the back side of the box that you can open up and read. Great looking figures. They make a ton of them. They're not super expensive, and if you subscribe to their service, they're going to ship you a ring to display your figures in. Huge assortment of legends, current superstars. They've got Charlotte, they've got Sasha Banks, they've got Bayley, you name it. They make them. My current favorite is the Demon Finn, outstanding looking statue. Again, check them out on Twitter. You're looking for Eagle Moss at HeroCollector_. Go check them out. And again, I said it last week, if you're looking for a killer white elephant gift, go grab one of these and throw it the white elephant. Man, that'd be awesome.
Scott, you're 5 inches tall. Now I want to throw it to the podcast buddy.
Off the ground.
I want to throw it back to the podcast buddies, Breaker and Bane. Check them out at Breaker and Bane's Power Hour. Again, that's a very fun show. They have an interview. They also talk energy drinks, mainly Bangs. They actually just introduced a toy segment, Scott. They kind of did away with Funko, and they're doing a toy segment now. So that's always fun to listen to. They talk about movies, television shows, everything else under the sun. So go check out Breaker and Bane. Breaker is a great friend. Bane is killing it. And I repeat, killing it on these intros. Thank you guys so very much. Also check out Doing the Favor podcast on iTunes. Those guys are great. Eric, I talk baseball and sports with. Barry is just, that guy is hilarious, dude.
And his wrestling knowledge would put a lot of people's to shame. That dude knows his stuff.
I would love to see him versus Aubrey Stinson in a wrestling knowledge contest.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know how far Barry goes back, but yeah, that would be incredible. Aubrey was on the Toys That Made Us, the episode that we were on, the wrestling episode, and that dude's knowledge is off the charts. I would definitely put him up against Barry. I think that'd be a great contest.
That would be fun. Also, check out the PPW podcast. I was on there with Steve. That was a lot of fun. The audio wasn't the best. I've actually learned that I need to start getting extra quality mics and stuff over here. I need new equipment for when we have guests over, but it was still a lot of fun, and the audio is listenable. So just go check it out. It's not the audio that you guys are accustomed to, but I think you guys will enjoy it. Marty and Sarah each week welcome their buddies in on Marty and Sarah Love Wrestling. And Scott, I'm going to have you, the co-host of the show, of Drunk Wrestling History, go into detail about it.
So again, we talked about it last week. I have kind of a side venture I'm doing with a couple of friends of mine. It's Drunk Wrestling History, and it's exactly what the title says. We get drunk, and we talk about wrestling. And we have 2 episodes out so far. The first one was just an introduction, kind of our background in watching wrestling up to current day. And the second episode is about celebrities in wrestling. Our third episode is going to be coming out in another week or so, and we'll have what actually was our pilot. It was kind of like we sat down and just kind of started shooting the stuff, and it's about the boogeyman. And that should be out by the time you guys download this episode. So that'll be 3 episodes. That was a shorter one. It was just kind of a pilot. We're just going to throw it out there as kind of filler. But definitely check it out. It's something different. We really winged it. And Jeff, I was kind of talking about this to you between segments. We really winged it with that first set of recordings. We had 5 shows total come out of it. And just kind of winging it. We didn't really have notes. It was just kind of getting our feet wet to see if we kind of had something. So I guarantee the next time we sit down to record, which is going to be another 3 weeks, I think, we'll have notes. We'll do a little more research. But it was just fun to kind of sit down, and because every time we hang out and we're drinking, we're talking wrestling. So it just made sense to kind of put microphones in front of ourselves and just go. So just kind of something fun. Check us out on Twitter at wrestling_drunk. Throw us recommendations for upcoming shows, whatever you want to hear us talk about, just throw it out there. And we'll probably put it into the hopper to talk about on the next set of recordings. So if you're looking for something different, Drunk Wrestling History, follow us on Twitter at wrestling_drunk. If you've downloaded it, thank you. If you're enjoying it, let us know what you want to hear. Let us know what you're enjoying. Let us know what you're not enjoying. Again, we're just kind of starting out and kind of getting our feet wet with it. Just like Jeff, when you and I started this show, just kind of getting a feeler for what was working, what wasn't. Do we need better notes, better equipment, blah, blah, blah. We're kind of going through the same growing pains over there. So just something new.
Like you said, hit them up with show topics. If you guys have an idea for a show, hit them up. Wrestling_drunk on Twitter. Scott, roll call.
Yes, aside from Drunk Wrestling History, Jason Wolf. Give him a follow on Twitter at JasonWLF. If you need artwork, Jason is your guy. Just amazing, amazing artwork from Jason. Every time he posts something new, I'm just blown away by the level that he's at with his artwork. It's just awesome. He can do wrestling. He can do Transformers. He does comic book covers. He's done the WCW guys. Just unbelievable. This guy, we use him on our t-shirts. So if you need artwork, definitely hit Jason up. Tell him FullyPoseable sent you. Give him a follow on Twitter at JasonWLF. If you want to read a great figure column, check out our buddy CJ and your buddy CJ on Twitter at yourbuddyCJ. If you need enamel pins, Pollyanna is your guy. Check out Jacob on Twitter at Pollyanna. That's with 2 N's, DIY. And Jeff, I'm going to round it out this week with the figure customizers. First up, at Scribble24. That's at Scribble, SKRIBBEL 24. Next up, at Asui88. That's ASSUI88. And at Kyle Customs. That's Customs with a K, 2018. And at Unboxed Alliance. Those guys do great work with custom figures. Definitely go give them a follow.
Scott, that rounds out episode 203. Again, we want to say congratulations to Chris Micchio. Hit us up at Chris_Micchio. Hit us up and you'll get that Macho Man Slim Jim figure. Episode 203 is in the books this week. I wish you the best of luck on finding Gorilla and Don Morocco.
And same to you.
I don't know if it will happen. Hopefully by the time this show drops, we will have those figures in hand because we are going to the San Jose Toy Show on Saturday.
Yeah, let's go pay through the nose for those.
Yeah, so we'll have a story for you guys regarding San Jose Toy Show next week. Hopefully we'll see some listeners over there. We did last time and hoping we do it again. Maybe some AWA Remcos too.
That's what I'm hoping.
Thoughts and prayers.
Exactly. Hopefully our Sacramento buddies there.
So, Scott, for episode 203, anything else?
I can't wait to see you guys in Tampa in 2020. Fig Life since 2016. And happy toy hunting.
Fig Life Meetup 3 is happening in 2020. Again, I'm going to reiterate what Scott just said. Can't wait to see you guys there. Hashtag Fig Life. Adios.
Yeah. FullyPoseable. Let's go. Jeff and Scott, the Toon Brothers, busting out the ring. But we don't take it out the box, MOC. Happy toy hunting, we'll see you next week. We're the OGs of WFP. Fully Poseable, thank you all for listening. It ain't no storyline, real life siblings. So everybody go and do your toy spotting. Hashtag Fig Life, adios from the Kings.